esa cosa que
Mira
está ahí.
esa de madera, viejo. Vamos pues. Vamos allá a la information ahí.
Some of the science
For
classes.
those of you just joined us, this is Mount Cody.
Me voy, ya me voy. ¿Qué más pan, hija?
And technology for information processing has always been a major concern of American business and government. Many miles west, on the right, an 1853 calculating machine called the Joint-Silrix engine. The prices negotiated. One is in 1928, when this business was mechanism, more than 900 numerical table shares. The other is a bureaucracy. The stock exchange is always
Estéreo de la tía. Hermana.
Barely.
Deja habla por ahí.
Right.
Yeah, it's something really small.
And then,
For less than
how come I don't see? How did I move?
Headquarters. It's not easy. We don't control the sea lanes. Our navy is spread so thin, the convoys are in grave danger. U-boats are stuck.
they got
Acá está otro verde.
I'm just gonna take a picture of it.
Ven. Vamos. Ahí voy. Cintia. Say hi.
Como aquel se cayó ya. Niño.
United States Government Printing Office. We're on H Street. we will be crossing North Capitol Street. We have a North Capitol, we have a South Capitol Street, we have a East Capitol Street, but not a West Capitol Street. But anyway, when we cross North Capitol Street, if you look to your left, you get a view of the Capitol, where we'll get a view of the Capitol at different places throughout the city. But here's another view of the Capitol. Whenever we cross any boundary of the Capitol, like we are now, we go from one part of the city to the other part. We go from northeast now, and now we'll be in northwest, the Hologram Museum.
Carnegie Library.
The Renaissance Hotel on your left. Carnegie was so similar at that time until they only had an I street. Okay, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna cross this intersection. This is 16th Street, and if you at least take the left eye and look to your left, whatever you want with the right eye. So you look to your left, you get a view of the front facade, the front of right. You probably get to see a church on almost every corner. There it is off to your left, the north portico of the White House.
The White House? No, it's not the White House.
The city of Washington itself is the seat of the government, but it has approximately 600, just a little over 600,000 views yet. We'll make sure you are before the end of the trip. Uptown, we call this Uptown, where they do a lot of the selling more expensive commodities in this area, as you can see.
Yes.
Connecticut Avenue will take you into Maryland, for instance, if you travel far enough up Connecticut Avenue. The building that has all the flags in front there to your right, coming up in the next block, is the famous Mayflower Hotel. Mayflower Hotel was where J. Edgar Hoover, who was the director of the FBI for many years, had lunch for about 20 years. Barbara Streisand stayed here. She had her tour here in the D.C., Maryland area. Always the chandeliers that should say a nice sight to look at, a nice view at looking from one end to the other. Older hotel, but a very prestigious hotel and expensive hotel, Mayflower. But this time of year, I think you can get it easily for $125. And up into Maryland. So we'll be going up Massachusetts Avenue, Embassy Row, and seeing numerous embassies. Not all, because there are about 100 embassies in the city of Washington, D.C. And the embassies represent many countries. The ambassadors have the chancelleries where their staff stay and their staff work, and the embassies, some of them are located further into the city where the ambassador actually lives. At least we'll see some chancelleries. And if it's the red brick building, and you see the green trimming and the cross on top, that is St. Matthew's. That's where actually his funeral, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, the 33rd President of the United States, funeral was held. And that is where John Kennedy attended, St. Matthew's.
Esta. ¿Quieres irnos?
On your left is St. Matthew's. Okay, the building you'll see coming up on your right, and will be right across 17th Street, is a Jewish, for Jewish culture, and that is the B'nai B'rith Museum. B'nai B'rith to your right, and then we have in the circle we have coming up, that is the Winfield Scott, who actually resigned during just that time when the Civil War began. He was the general under many presidents. He resigned. General Scott is watching the White House. If you look up to your right, you can see the White House again. Guarding the White House. Heinemann there, statue of Heinemann there to your right. He was the inventor of homeopathic medicine. Okay, and then we're going, and then we have Trinidad and Tobago. Then we have one of the Turkish embassies to your left. And then we have the next, where the red brick building is, that is Chile. Embassy of Chile to your left. This building on your right was once an apartment, and Andrew Mellon here. That's the Embassy of Indonesia. Then we have the Embassy Row Hotel to your right, Embassy of Indonesia. Evelyn McLean lived there at one time. She wrote a book, Her Father Struck It Rich, and she actually owns the Hope Diamond, which is displayed at the Museum of Natural History. It is a 45.5 carat diamond in the Museum of Natural History. Society of Cincinnati, another club that was George Washington actually was the head of that club at one time. Here's the men's club to your right, Cosmos. Many of the Nobel Prize winners have membership there at that club. To your left, and then we have, let's see, Greece, Ireland to your left. Then Romania off to your left there. Then Philip Sheridan statue. Dunstan Borglum did that. He's the same man who did the Mount Rushmore statue for president. And then we have, point out a couple on the right here coming up. This is Pakistan. This one right here, this group there, the best of you. And then we have Cameroon on the corner to your right, like watching a tennis match here. Malaysia behind the statue of Robert Emmet. And then we have Malagasy to your left. And then we have Mexico to your left. Then we have Venezuela to your right, the green fence. And then we have Korea to your left. We cross California Street. And we have the Embassy of Japan. This is Croatia to your right. No, Belize. And then the South African Embassy. Okay, there you go. British Embassy to your left. Okay, and then we have this area, this large area with the fence around it is actually the Naval Observatory. That Naval Observatory watches the stars, of course, is what they do. And the which one? Texas? We passed that. You were? One time, long time ago. Vice President Gore, this is a pretty gory house up there. To your left, that's where the Vice President of the United States stays during his term in office. No, this is the Vice President's house. It used to be the Naval Observatory. They moved the commander out, and now they use that one for the Vice President.
Is it his real house or? It's just like the White House.
You should have heard when Quayle was there. They said many things about him that were worse than that.
I know, but
This was just finished.
are they just
The Finnish embassy. Embassy of Finland. To your right. Then we have the Vatican. That is the Apostolic Delegation to your right. And then we have the Embassy of Norway on your right. And then in the background there, you see the Washington Cathedral, officially called the Cathedral of St. Peter and St. Paul. And that is a church for all people. The cathedral has a altitude over 600 feet from sea level. Being repaired, I believe now. Lightning has hit it several times, but it is a church for all people. In the early 1790s, as Virginia took back theirs in 1846, a long time that part of that land belonged to Washington, D.C. and Virginia. The area here, like I say, might have been part of Maryland, but they do sometimes call it Georgetown. Matter of fact, this hotel is called Holiday Inn Georgetown. Another church there to your right, Divine Alliance Church. The Georgetown University, the oldest Catholic university in America, was started by Bishop John Carroll. Is located about 8 blocks off to our right. You can't quite see it. So you might consider this part of Georgetown, but not officially. The main street where I know that they crossed into Georgetown is the next traffic light. Elizabeth Taylor, in one of her marriages, that one was to John Warner, actually lived in Georgetown. Her house sold for about $1 million, so you can see what the neighborhood might look like if you were to drive through the Georgetown area. This is the beginning of Georgetown. That house on the hill is, that building on the hill is the Georgetown Branch Library. Dumbarton Oaks is one of the attractions here. Dumbarton Oaks was used as a prelude meeting to the United Nations after World War II. Henry Kissinger. Good time to window shop here, as there are numerous shops here. Shops here are established so that there will be so many different things to do and see, and it's worked here. I mean, the rent being high over here.
¿Cuántas veces?
Tú me hubieras un poco fea bicicleta y a casita no me atrae.
¿Parecito?
Allá Toto.
Mhm.
Allá Toto. Mira, déjame pequeño y
Cuidado, no te vas a caer.
Mira, mija, tómale ahí, from the ranges.
¿Dónde?
If you enter right through this Georgetown Park, there's a large underground shopping center, modern shopping center beyond those walls. And as you can see, restaurants galore along this street. This is Amber Street we're on. Oldest Catholic university in the United States, started by Bishop John Carroll, 1789. On to your left there is the white marble building is the Kennedy Center. And then the Watergate is to the left of it. And Robinson, Virginia is just kind of a small area. It has several hotels and office buildings and so forth.